So it's actually ironic that I'm drinking out of this mommy established 2019 cup because today I'm going to be spilling the tea about how I found out I was pregnant with my firstborn Nasim, and just like the journey that I went on with that, because it was a journey. I just believe that transparency is a thing that is needed but is often not displayed. So let's get into this tea time. But before we do, go ahead and like, because it is going to be good. Go ahead and subscribe for future videos, and you can either comment throughout the video or you can wait till after, but go ahead and leave a comment as well for me. Okay, thank you. So here is where I will start. I got, make sure the focus is right. I got married October of 2018, and I had Nasim in April of 2019. Now, if you do the math, the math would tell you that I was not married at the time that Nasim was conceived. What, Delani? You was doing the do? I was doing the do, and that thing got me a baby boo, okay? It got me a baby. And so, now let's go back. So Denzel and I got, we started dating in 2017, and we became engaged in January of 2018. And our desire was to wait until we got married to, you know, do the do. But we got caught up. And it was our fault because we put ourselves in positions that we should not have been in. We put ourselves in situations that could have been easily avoided, and that led to the temptation and everything else. So we actually had accountability partners who still holds us down to this day and who we love so very much. We had accountability partners, but we weren't taking heed to the wisdom and the instructions that they had given us. My accountability partner, I don't want to put her business out like that too much, but she actually like stayed pure until she got married, and she dated her spouse for a very long time and still like remained pure. No kissing, no none of that, no touching, none of that. And so, like, you know, for me, I was like, you know, I like to kiss, I like to touch. We're not the same person, so I don't know if I could do this. So automatically I had like already like made up in my mind that I could not do all the things that she was telling me to do, because we were not the same person and I didn't have the same will, which I did. I just chose not to. But yeah, so she would tell me not to put myself in positions, and did I listen? No, I didn't, and I ended up in those positions. So fast forward to us getting engaged in January. In August, we found out we were pregnant. Now, at the time that we had found out we was pregnant, we had already made the decision that we were not going to do it anymore. It meaning to do anymore until we got married. We were going to commit to the process and just, you know, be pure before our wedding. August came about, and my cycle is always on time like clockwork. I'm never a day late. If I am a day late, it is because I am pregnant. It has happened both times. So, you know, my period came. Well, no, I started cramping and everything. So I went to the store. You know, I was with my mom and my sister, and I went to the store and I got my feminine products and everything, because I was like, oh, my period is gonna come. My period did not come when it was supposed to. And so that left me with no choice but to take a test. I remember Denzel was at work and I was on my way to work, and I stopped and I got a test. and I went in the bathroom at work and took the test, which made me feel like such a heathen because I worked in a religious place, a sacred place, and so I felt like a heathen taking a test in the bathroom of my job when I wasn't married. And lo and behold, the test came back positive. So then I had to proceed throughout my day at my job, feeling like such a heathen. Like I should have felt like a heathen before, I should have I should have felt some type of way before taking the test for doing the do, but I didn't. I did, but anywho, I took the test, it came back positive, and I had to go back to work and act like nothing had happened, nothing had affected my day, my life was not about to change. I just had to act like, it was just a normal, happy day in the hood. And so I worked with my accountability partner. And so, the first thing I did, I called Denzel and I told him, and Denzel, he's also so happy-go-lucky. He was like, babe, it's okay. Like, I got you. Don't stress about it. It's nothing to worry about. And in my head, I'm thinking, like, first of all, I'm about to lose my job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose it. I'm thinking everything. Like, I'm about to lose my job. My mama gonna kick me out. Like, I'm not gonna be able to come back to church. Like, everything. And he's just so calm. Like, babe, it's okay. I got you. We got this. Ain't nothing to worry about. So then I go to my accountability partner and I pull her in the bathroom and I'm like, I'm so sorry I let you down. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I'm pregnant. She's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I thought you told me you had stopped having sex. And I was like, I did, but it's too late. So, when I felt like I had betrayed her trust, because we did stop, but it was too late. And so, she encouraged me. She's an encourager. She's like the best. But she encouraged me. She was like, it's okay. Like, okay. This is what we're dealing with. So let's get it together. Let's go about our day. Let's start getting things in line. And we'll move forward. And so, after talking to her, I felt much better. Then I had to tell my mom. And so I got home that day. And I had already told my brother, because when my brother found out that he was pregnant some years back, he was having a baby some years back, he made me tell my mom. So this time I told him, and he was like, D, like, I'm so proud of you. Like, you did not disappoint me. It's okay. I was like, I need your help in telling mommy. Because, I'm the baby, and I'm the only girl, and my mama don't play that. she don't play that. Like, she knew some things are happening, but she was not suspecting that. And I was supposed to be getting married soon, and the plan was to wait until we were married, and I had already got fitted for my dress and everything, and it had fit perfectly. Like, no alterations was needed or anything like that. So, having to come tell my mother now that I am pregnant 3 months before my wedding was not the ideal situation. But, my brother came down to my mom and was like, somebody's pregnant, but it's not me this time. My mom looked at me. I don't know if I can say this, but she looked at me and she was like, you better fit your dime dress. And I didn't want to laugh, but like, because I didn't need any alterations on my dress. It like fit perfectly, but like 3 months, like I'm gonna be pudging, and it's something that I can't like tuck in. So that was her response. She was, she was a little hurt. She was disappointed, but a mother's love is unconditional. A mother's love is what it is. And so I told her, and yeah, then I had to tell my pastors because, definitely out of respect for them in their house, and I was also in a leadership position where I served, and so I felt like it was important for me to take responsibility and let them know, like, hey, this is the situation. I apologize for, the disappointment, and just for failing in my responsibility as a leader, and that I was okay to be stepped down. I was going to step down and accept responsibility for my actions, because I feel like, as a leader, while you may not ask for it, for certain responsibilities, it is yours. It is yours. And so, for me, it was just important for me to step down, and I'm so thankful for my pastors, because, you know, while they, they did acknowledge that, Delani, like, you know, they didn't make me feel bad, and reminded me that God's grace is sufficient. And so I was so thankful for that, for them not just, being like, you gotta go. You know what I'm saying? And that helped, because then I also dealt with, so we got, let me not jump ahead of myself. So we got married in October. Okay, Delaney. So my grandmother, who was such a support system in the 3 months that I was pregnant, she passed away a week before I got married. Literally a week before I got married. And losing her was tough. I didn't know how to navigate through the pregnancy with her loss. And, the first 3 months is very important for you to do all you can to just create a safe space for your baby, because the first 3 months is when miscarriages is at the highest. And so losing her within the first 3 months, my body started to stress. I started to get anxiety, all of that. But I had to remind myself that I was also carrying life, and that I need to focus on, grieving, but not to the point where I then lose another life because of how hard I took the process. And so my grandmother passed away a week before I got married. And so we canceled our honeymoon and we went home for her funeral. And when I came back from the funeral, I was showing. I wasn't showing in my wedding dress. So people who came to the wedding that I didn't tell personally, they had no idea that I was pregnant. But by the time I came back from my grandmother's funeral, which was just like a couple weeks in between, I was showing. My belly button was poking and I was out there. And so I couldn't hide it. I couldn't tuck it in. There was nothing I could do about it. And I was returning to church, and, people started talking. And people started talking. And that mess hurt. I wasn't surprised at the fact, because I've seen it happen before to other young ladies in the church that, had the same experience as me. But, yeah, man, it hurt. People were not shy to express their disappointment with me, that, what I did was unacceptable, especially as a leader. And again, it wasn't my pastors. It wasn't the people close to me. It was just people. And, I couldn't be too upset with them because, I sinned. But my sin just happened to be to have a public display with it. There's a lot of people that sit in the church. Am I pointing fingers? Am I doing tit for tat? No, but there's a lot of people. I'm pretty sure some of them has sinned, but mine's had a public showing of it. I had the scarlet letter on me, I guess. So yeah, they expressed that, which was weird because they only expressed it to me. Nobody like came up to Denzel and said anything. It's like, hello, I did not have a baby by myself, but um, yeah. So I dealt with that. I dealt with wanting to run away from the church and not wanting to come back to church because of just people and the things they were saying and how much it hurt me. But at that time, I just made sure that my inner circle was who I heavily relied on, and they were such a support to me, my best friends, my family, um, my close peoples, who you are, and just their love and support is what like pushed me through that season. But it was definitely hard. And so, after I lost a few people close and not so close, but it's a part of the journey. I just want to encourage like young girls who also shared the experience that I had. I would encourage you to forgive yourself for it. Um, and appreciate the people that's actually in your corner, because situations like this will reveal like who is really for you, who would really love you. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't express their disappointment. That's normal. If somebody do things that makes you disappointed, you're disappointed. So I'm not talking about in that sense, but just be careful with who you let around you in those times, because they'll either make you, help you through the situation, or they will break you. And when I tell you they will break you, they will if you allow them to. And during that time, you already feel bad about yourself. You already feel sorry and guilty for the things that you did. And so allowing that extra guilt to you is not going to be any good for you. So I went throughout my whole pregnancy with anxiety, getting panic attacks, and I really didn't tell anybody about it. Like sometimes my panic attacks were like so bad, but thankfully, my husband was there throughout. And once we got married, it was easier, because even though we got pregnant, we were not living with each other. We didn't move in with each other until after we got married. So even I wanted to be with him those first 3 months of pregnancy, but that just wasn't what we were gonna do. And so yeah, once we moved in together and he was there to actually like be there with me all the time, it was much better for me. But yeah, so that's my story of finding out I was pregnant with Nasim and some of the things that I dealt with. Excuse me. And I think on the back end too, one, I had to forgive myself, and two, like there's a couple young ladies that looked up to me, still looks up to me, and I felt like I let them down. There's one young lady in particular, I won't say her name, but she's my heart. I called her and I just cried to her, because I'm like, yo, like I feel like I let you down like so bad, because like she has a great head on her shoulder, saving herself for marriage, and here I am now, somebody that she looks up to, not idolize, but somebody that she looks up to. Here I am pregnant out of wedlock. And so I just felt like I disappointed them, I let them down. And it had gotten to the point where where I felt like I could no longer speak those things into her life. Like I felt like I could no longer tell her like, hey, no, like you should wait to have sex, like you should wait till you're married to have sex. I felt like I couldn't even speak to that anymore because like I didn't, you know what I'm saying? And so it put me in a position where like I felt like I couldn't even speak into their lives because I was contradicting what I said. Like my life shows a contradiction, but you know God had to speak to me, and you know like it's better to learn from people's mistake than to having to learn from it for yourself. Like I figured that out, and so to you as well, if you have people in your life that looks up to you, but you have fallen short of his glory in some way or the other, don't allow that to mute you or feel like you can no longer speak into anybody's life, or you can no longer offer wisdom to somebody that may be thinking about doing the same thing that you did that got you caught up. No, because you don't want them to experience those things if they don't have to. So yeah, you know, I didn't expect to be talking this long. I hope I was not rambling. I never really talk about this situation. But again, I hope that someone sees this and feels relief. They feel like they too can be forgiven. They feel understood in the sense that somebody else has experienced the same thing and overcame. So that is all that I have for you. I thank you for sticking through my tea, not so tea time, and I'll catch up with you in the next video. All right.